Hi, I'm Todd Pappy, Design Director here at CIG. Today I want to talk to you about Star Marine and kind of the iterations that it's gone through from IllFonic to even our current team. So what you've seen before with IllFonic, and then when it was handed over to our current team, there was a lot of adjustments, a lot of breakdown of basic fundamental features so that we can use those as building blocks when we go forward with our tech as well as with Persistent Universe. So when we started looking at Star Marine, it was always meant to basically be a precursor to the Persistent Universe and use this as a building block. Now, what we did was we kind of did a little bit backwards, where what you see in Alpha 2.0, 2.1, even through 2.5, is a very basic combat and navigation for Star Marine. So in 2.6, what we've done is we've built that up a lot more. We've added vault, mantle, cover, as well as grenades and melee, just to name a few features to actually build what our combat is going to be. And then from there, in the future, we'll be adding other new features like gadgets, as well as breathing stamina system. And this will give us a fully fleshed out combat first-person experience.
Animation-wise in Star Marine, there's a whole lot of things that go into it. You have your character animation, which would be, say, your body animation of your character running around. You have your facial animation, so perhaps the character breathes or makes some sort of expression when he shoots. You have procedural animation, so we're holding the weapon and we're firing, and that recoil that is happening is procedural. And then as the hands squeeze on the trigger and squeeze on the weapon, that's another character animation, but a partial body character animation that plays on top of that. The first step is that we sit down with the designers and sort of figure out what is the intent of this particular behavior or gameplay that we're doing, and we create a state machine for that, which tells us if we go from, say, an idle stance and we start to move, and then we need to jump, or we're going to vault or melee, how those things connect. Then once we understand how they connect, in the case of larger actions, say a stealth kill or running, we'll go and we'll shoot motion capture, and we'll grab the motion capture of those actors, we'll bring them into Motion Builder and into Maya, and we'll work on those animations to get them to be technically correct for the game. We'll play them then in the product and see how they feel, and we'll make adjustments within Maya or Motion Builder or something like this to try and really bear down on the quality that we're looking for the game. In the case of things like, say, reload animations, because it's important in the first-person view for us to see the weapon reloading, but we also have a tied first-person and third-person view, we can't really motion capture those reloads fully. We have to do a lot of hand animation on those to make sure that they look good in third person and in first person. So depending upon what the asset will give us a different track that we go on. Either we do it with mocap or we do it with keyframe.
So as a lead programmer, I manage a team, and our work is mainly player related. So for Star Marine, it's been a big advantage for us that we've been able to look at specifically the core FPS gameplay without this big PU backdrop. But with any features we do, we always want to think about how they go into the PU. We don't want to put a feature in just because it's easy to do it in Star Marine, and then 3 or 4 months later find out that that's 1 or 2 years worth of work to get it into PU. We want these pieces to fit into the final game.
Alpha 2.0 back at the end of last year. and we've slowly been iterating on the features for that. So we have two different throw modes with the grenades in Star Marine. You can do underhand rolls or overhand throws or lobs, and currently that's selectable depending on the view angle, whether you're looking above the center line of the screen or below the center line of the screen. And we can adjust that quite easily on dev side, but we're going to look to expose that to be a more user customizable preference. So currently it's set at a fraction of under the center of the screen to decide between if you're beneath that, then do a roll. If you're above that, do a throw. So we're going to see whether that's something we'll let users customize, because obviously not everyone wants to do it like that, or whether we can expose that out into two different throw modes. And it's one system, so it's not just grenades, it'll be for gadgets or any throwable object. You can also cook or prime grenades, so you just literally hold down the key to do that. Depending on how long you hold it for is how long it cooks for. Obviously let go before the timer runs out. You have some audio and UI feedback for that. Just remember that the grenades have quite a big radius on them, so if you hold it down for too long and then don't let go soon enough, you will get caught in the blast radius. We use DataForge to tweak all the parameters for grenades, so the throw speed, their mass, the angle you throw them at, the rotation that they throw. So we can have different rotational values for overhand and underhand throws. So underhand ones we want to roll more on one axis than the other, so they roll along the floor more. Overhands sort of go end over end, so they hit and bounce rather than hit the ground and just slide. Try something, doesn't work, go into DataForge, move a slider around, type a new value in, save that out, jump back in game, and you've got the new values there, so it's very quick to iterate. Star Marine is a sort of simulation of FPS combat inside the game. So it's like we have Arena Commander as a simulation of the dogfighting. Functionally it's the same between Arena Commander and Star Marine and the PU, so what you're learning in both of them is directly applicable to the PU, so it's not like we're giving you easy mode for how ships handle or how the weapons handle. It's the same, so you're not wasting your time doing one and then you suddenly get ruined going straight into the PU. It's good to learn. And Star Marine is obviously the FPS side of it, whereas Arena Commander is the ships.
If you look at Arena Commander, for example, the Arena Commander is an amazing tool for the ship team to balance how the ships work, how they feel, how they play against each other. With Crusader, having FPS in Crusader has been great for initial feedback, but it doesn't have the competitive edge, because you always start out in a green zone. You might have a lot of people that aren't interested in that aspect of the game. Whereas with Star Marine, you're not going to jump into a game if you don't want to run around and shoot at people. So it's going to be amazing to see what we can get out of that.
So now we're going to give you a little bit more of a deeper dive on how we go about building levels as well as game modes for Star Marine. With that, when Chris Roberts starts talking about FPS experiences and everything like that, he doesn't want it to be a kind of a traditional open FPS world.